Good afternoon, everybody. For those of you who are following us from home or remotely, we will be getting started in about 5 minutes. We're going to wait for a few more people to arrive and then we'll get started. Okay, for the sake of time, I'll go ahead and get us started this morning, or this afternoon actually. Just to introduce myself, my name is Morgan Studer. I am the director for the Service Learning Assistant Program here at IUPUI. You may be familiar with Mary Price's name. You may have heard her name a bit and kind of going through this process. She is transitioning out of leading this role, and I'm transitioning in. So you'll be working with me in the coming year. When you have questions, concerns, that kind of thing, I'd be the person that you would connect with. So thank you all for being here today. We're excited to have new students starting this year in some of these roles, and you have a lot to look forward to. And so today's orientation, we're just going to go over the basics, kind of what you need to know. So I want to tell you a little bit about what to expect in this orientation this afternoon, and then we'll go from there. We'll obviously have plenty of time to ask questions as you have them. So we'll be kind of identifying key staff contacts, people that you'll want to know and that you'll be connecting with over the course of the semester, describing the goals and expectations for all of you, what the workflow will look like over the course of this academic year or this semester, depending on how long you're in your role as an SLA. There's an orientation assignment to be completed at the end. There is a web link to that. You can complete that, after you're done here today, or if you're viewing this from home, there's a direct link to that on the PowerPoint. And then we'll answer any questions that you may have about the program. So just a couple of introductions. Myself, Morgan Studer. I am the Director of Faculty and Community Resources here at IUPUI. So I do help community members and faculty members get connected together over different projects. And part of that is overseeing the Service Learning Assistant Program. My email address is up here as well as my phone number. So if you have questions or your faculty mentor has questions, I'm the person that you could get in touch with. Also, Erica Jones, who could not be here today, is the graduate assistant working in this program, and she will also be available to answer questions, any questions, concerns that you may have. Her email is on here as well as her phone number. So feel free to reach out to any of us. Erica is only part-time. She's only here 20 hours a week. So I might be a little more available to you at different times. Something to be aware of. Another important key contact for you within the Center for Service and Learning, so that's where we actually house this program at IUPUI. We're actually located over in Hine Hall, just to know where we are on campus. Leslie Sweet is our administrative specialist. She's the one who actually helps connect your scholarships to your Bursar account, and she can actually help answer any type of scholarship processing questions that you might have. So if you're looking on your account and you're not seeing your scholarship and you think that you've done everything to get your scholarship, or numbers don't look correct or anything like that, Leslie would be a good person to contact. Her email address as well as her phone number are on here as well. And there is our office number in case you want to stop by for a visit. So I'm not sure how familiar you all are with the SLA program. Some of you may be brand new, some of you might be returning, but I want you to know kind of where you can go on our website to have some of your questions answered as well. A lot of what we'll be talking about today, obviously you can refer back to this PowerPoint. It will be publicized on our website once we're done today. In addition, you can go directly to our website to get different questions answered and find different resources. So the actual link to this website, to bookmark the page, is down here at the bottom of the PowerPoint page. But you can see that on the left-hand side under faculty and staff programs, that's where all the SLA information is housed. So that's kind of how to find it if you're looking for more information. So the Service Learning Assistant program is actually part of the Sam H. Jones Community Service Scholarship Program. How many of you have heard of the Sam H. Jones Scholarship Program prior to being an SLA? Some of you have. Okay, some of you may have also been scholars in other areas. Well, this actually is a program, and there are multiple scholarships as a part of this program. So I wanted to give you a little bit of background on who Sam Jones was and this scholarship program that's named after him. So Sam H. Jones was the first president of the Indianapolis Urban League. He was a civil rights advocate. He was instrumental in improving race relations in the city of Indianapolis. Really was a champion for improving living conditions, educational access, economic and health outcomes of the underserved members of the Indianapolis community. So this scholarship, because of the work that we do in the community with this array of scholarships, was named in his memory and in honor of the service he committed to the Indianapolis community. And it was established really to recognize students who have made exemplary service contributions, some in high school and college, and just really to recognize that and foster leadership in our community service students. So you're part of a great legacy being a part of the Sam H. Jones Scholarship Program. So a little bit more information about the program itself is, we really are critical to the success of you as students, to the university, giving back into the community. You can see several people who've actually received what are called Plater medallions, which is actually a recognition that you can receive upon graduation of exemplary service that's been given throughout your time at IUPUI. There's more information here on our website to learn more about the Sam Jones Service Scholarship Program, especially if you're interested in potentially other scholarships that are a part of this program outside of the SLA scholarship and learning more about it. You could definitely find it there. The Service Learning Assistant Program is actually pretty different than all the other Sam H. Jones Scholarship programs within that umbrella, because instead of you as an SLA applying directly for the funds, it's actually a faculty, we call them faculty mentors. They actually apply for the scholarship funds and then they nominate students like yourself to then fulfill that scholarship within their classes. What SLAs do is you really enhance faculty-staff community engaged work, right? Because you're helping the faculty member or the staff member actually commit and do a community project, a civic engagement project in the community. And it's also awarded on a competitive basis. So faculty really do have to apply for these awards and really show that what they're attempting to do in the community, is worthy of getting this kind of support, getting this kind of student support in the work that they're trying to do. Funding is not guaranteed from one year to the next, so there is a reapplication process every year for this award. Any questions so far? Good. Okay. So there's actually 4 categories of SLA scholarships. So you may look at these categories and know exactly where you are. You may not exactly, so you may even want to go back to your faculty mentor and ask if you're not sure. But the 4 different categories are teaching, then research, scholarship, and creative activity. There's also service or professional community service, and then capacity building for maybe an organization or a project. So you may not know exactly where you fit in quite yet. You can definitely talk to your faculty mentor about, which category, because they had to apply within those categories to have a better understanding of what category your SLA award is coming from. And just to give you an idea of the application process for that faculty mentor, so the faculty staff member actually applies for the award through our awarding process. CSL, which is the Center for Service and Learning, which is the office that we operate out of, we make those funding decisions and we send an award letter to a faculty member. Faculty and staff mentors do have to attend an orientation. They attend one before you attend your orientation because they have to learn about administering the scholarship program. They have to learn about working with you as SLAs, and so they actually go through an orientation themselves. They then complete a mentor letter of agreement, and then they actually identify the student or students that they want to fulfill this scholarship within their program. And then you receive your official notification that you've been selected or nominated, and you are asked actually to complete your own letter of agreement as well as attend an orientation like you are today. Some are doing this remotely, some might do it online at a later time. So you participate in the scholar orientation. There is actually an orientation component through the website that you'll learn about at the very end that you will complete, saying that stating that you've actually attended this orientation and you complete this activity. You also submit your letter of agreement and submit it, and you register for your classes. CSL will then process the scholarship funds to make sure those get put on your Bursar account and they're distributed to you. So just note that attending this orientation as well as completing that letter of agreement and then doing the orientation activity at the end of this orientation, those are all mandatory before your scholarship actually gets applied. So once you have done all of those things, if you're still seeing that your award has not been applied or you're wondering about it, that's where you want to give us a call. Leslie Sweet is a good contact for you for that. I am also very helpful in helping find answers for that for you as well. And as a reminder, no scholarship funds can be released until both you and your mentor have completed the LOA and all the orientation requirements. Definitely talk to your mentor as well if you're not sure if they've done what they need to do. Have a question back here? Yes, that's a very good question. So the question, would you like to repeat that?
Oh, I asked the LOA, is that something that we receive electronically after the orientation, or is that something that we need to check with our mentor for to receive?
You should be receiving that electronically if you have not already.
And you won't have received it if your mentor hasn't completed orientation and done their LOA, because during their orientation, that's where they identify you.
Mm-hmm.
Them identifying you triggers an email that comes out to you. So if you haven't received an LOA yet, there's a possibility that it's either due to your mentor not having completed their orientation, or that there's a lag in our office in actually sending out the LOA. So it could be one of a couple of things.
Yes. So if your mentor hasn't done that, you may want to check in with your mentor. If they say yes, that they've done it, and you're still wondering why you haven't received it, give us a call. Good question. Okay. So now we've gotten through the processy parts of the scholarship, kind of how you get it, how it gets added to your account. Now I want to get more into the actual overview of the program and what you can expect over the course of the year. How many of you have been SLAs in the past? Anybody? You all first time SLAs? Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, everyone's new right here, right now. Okay. So you're learning a lot today, huh? So one thing we want to make sure you understand is what SLAs are not. We'll tell you what you are, but first what you are not. You're not employees. You're not hired to work. This is a scholarship, kind of like a stipend, and you're not actually employees of the university. So we want you to understand your role as your scholarship recipients and your scholars in this work. So you are scholars. SLA awards are merit-based scholarships that recognize learning that's generated through participation in and reflection on civic and community engagement. So you're scholars in this area, you're scholars in this field. That's what you're doing as an SLA. You actually contribute to faculty-led projects and initiatives within communities. You have intentional coaching and modeling by your faculty and staff who oversee you in this role. So there's a lot that you can learn through that relationship with your faculty mentor. You'll also be developing, many of you will develop relationships with community organizations, depending on the nature of your SLA role. Some of you will actually be out in the community building those relationships as well. And you'll be participating in critical reflection and analysis of the projects and the work that you're doing. So we've talked a little bit about the processing of the scholarship, but here's a little bit more on what to expect financially, like once this award actually comes to your account, to know kind of what that looks like. It will go directly to your bursar account. It is not earned on an hourly basis, like a work-study job or any other kind of hourly job. You're not clocking in and out for this. You actually get the scholarship award on your bursar account. So, SLA scholarships may not, however, be used to support independent individual student research or student-initiated service projects. It will also not cover student travel costs for international service projects for study abroad. But it does have financial aid implications when you look at your financial aid award package. It can have an impact on that. If you have a balance on your bursar account, the scholarship will actually go to pay that amount first, if there is a balance. And then if you don't have a balance, then the amount will be refunded to your personal bank account from the bursar's office. Disbursement times may vary, so just pay attention to what to do on your bursar account so that you kind of have an understanding of when that might cover that and if you maybe need to cover the cost, in the meantime. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Because again, your award cannot be distributed until your mentor has done a certain number of things and you yourself have done a certain number of things. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Are there any questions around the financial implications or how the award is processed on your account? Any questions? Okay, so what factors influence when funds will appear in the bursar's account? So, just to make sure everyone's clear on when this happens. Again, the date your faculty or staff mentor formally notifies us and then the CSL that you are the scholarship recipient. That helps us kind of start that process with you. The date that you complete your letter of agreement. The date that we forward your information to the scholarship office. So again, making sure all those factors have been covered, then we forward that information on. And then the scholarship office then completes a review of your account and does their own internal processing. If there's any delay in any of these items, there may be a delay in the award going on your account. And Mary has something to say.
One thing to note is actually one factor that has been the most influential in delaying awards has not been what you as the student scholars have been doing or not doing. It's often your wonderful mentors who are the delaying factor here. So I encourage each of you to have a follow-up conversation when you leave this session to just touch base with your mentor and kind of see where they are in their process.
Thank you. So on average, once your award has been passed to the scholarship office, it'll take about 10 to 14 days for the award to appear on your bursar account. So just keep that in mind. So we've talked processes, we've talked a little bit about program overview. So now this is going to get more into the roles and responsibilities. So what exactly will you be doing? Some of you will be doing different things, obviously, depending on your project with your faculty mentor. But there are certain things we want all SLAs to participate in and do to kind of give you a common experience at that level. So what are your different roles and responsibilities? And again, much of this, well, all of this actually can be found on our website. So I will refer back to that in a few of these slides so that you can always have that as a reference point for future, as well as on this PowerPoint. So first thing, sign and submit your letter of agreement. Again, that will be coming to you, so keep look out for that. Complete your orientation once per academic year. This includes the summer semester. If anybody is awarded a summer SLA, this would include that. So some of you are here in person, some are watching remotely currently, and this will also be posted online as a video to be viewed. One requirement throughout the semester is that you must complete a professional development requirement. It's a one-time thing. There are many different ways you can fulfill this requirement, and I will talk with you about that. So you'll complete that, and then you will do a reflection narrative, and that is once per semester. And finally, there is an informed consent form and a post survey that we will ask you to take at the end of your experience. That is not posted currently. Once we have that information, that will get sent out to you to complete that post survey. So don't go looking for it now because it's not complete quite yet. And then there are end of award period reports that we ask that you complete in time for your mentor to evaluate and submit their portion of that report. This is something that you can find on our website, and I'm going to take you to that and show you how to find all of these things. But these are some of the main components of the program requirements that you'll need to complete throughout your year or your semester as an SLA. At the very bottom, you can click, there's a direct link to the reflection assignment and the reporting that I mentioned here. You can actually click on it to find that information. And I'm actually going to take you to it just to show you what it looks like. So this is the page that you can go to learn more about the professional development. This down here has different ideas for professional development activities. You can complete workshops or modules. There's more information here. You might attend or present at a conference, complete a literature review, give a presentation. There's lots of different things here. You can work with your faculty mentor to determine, what is a good fit for your professional development activities. And there's reporting resources down here as well, and then professional development reflection link. So when you do your reflection for your professional development activity, that is also, this is where you can find that on our website. Just wanted you to be able to see that, but this link actually takes you there. So that was more about just the different requirements that you have for the year, including your professional development activity. Are there any questions around that? This program requirement. Okay. Yes.
Is there a specific deadline available online, like when we need to have those turned in by? Like, are they listed under the links?
They are in the links, correct? Okay.
Oh.
And that does have the deadlines on it. Yep. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you. So this next section is just more about the benefits and takeaways of the SLA program. Why it's a great thing that this is something you're involved in. So just so you know, by serving as an SLA, as a student scholar, you'll develop a mentoring relationship with the faculty staff mentor, and or there might be a community partner involved in this relationship. And just developing that mentoring relationship is always a great asset, something to have as you continue to grow and develop professionally and in your own sort of civic engagement, community engagement path. It's a great relationship to have. There's lots of different opportunities to even just grow on a personal level or a professional level within your academic course of study, being an SLA scholar and developing that relationship. You're also learning more and becoming more involved in like a democratic culture of inclusiveness, active participation, sharing of tasks, lay participation. So being directly involved in the work that you're doing, reciprocity and public problem solving. So being involved in and with the community in solving issues that might be impacting our community. And really equality and equality of respect for the knowledge and experience that everyone contributes to education and community building. So, you're going to be participating with your faculty mentor, but you're also going to have this knowledge building and this education that you're contributing to the work as well as listening to community members and community organizations and bringing, that information to bear within the work that you're doing. So kind of all of us being involved, in this process as an SLA and in this relationship that you're building. So you're going to be increasing your knowledge. You're going to be increasing your knowledge about how social issues are addressed in society, how education addresses social issues in society, more about the nonprofit sector or NGOs or the roles of volunteers in sustaining communities in a civil society, identifying community assets, the assets that communities already bring towards the problem-solving issue and that kind of thing. Developing yourselves as active members of multiple communities and collaborating with others who are different from you. So a lot of different knowledge building will come from this experience, not just about even the specific, academic content of the course you might be working on, but all of these other areas you'll be developing in. You will be developing and deepening your ability to design, implement, and administer collaborative projects within communities, creatively problem solve, and think critically. So critical reflection is a component of this. So being able to do that as a result of this work that you're doing. Effectively communicate with individuals or groups from diverse backgrounds, integrating knowledge from multiple sources, applying it in real-world context, designing scholarly projects. You'll be using participatory methods that engage community members as active contributors, so it's not just you acting, it's the community that you're working with acting as well. Producing and disseminating new knowledge that helps address pressing social issues or problems that have been identified. And then when working with your faculty mentor, you may even have a co-faculty mentor who's working with you on a project. These are some good questions that you might want to be asking just to kind of help you develop as a scholar. So asking what's my role in the project or course? What types of knowledge or skills would make me most effective in this role as an SLA? And then how can I improve my capacity to serve as an SLA with this project? Yes?
Who are graduate students? We got 4 friends who are graduate students live, and how about online? No one. So the rest of you are undergraduate students. One of the reasons that we have some reflection opportunities built into the program is one, both you and your mentors are going to be coming at this from different understandings of the world, different understandings of community, different disciplinary framings. And so some of the learning outcomes or skill building that we had listed on the slides, some of them you may see, some of them you may not. Part of what we're trying to kind of prime the pump for is you to think about how is this open-ended experience a learning opportunity for you, and what is there to learn, right? So when we're working with communities, whether we're a faculty member or a staff member, whether we're a student, you're going to be put into situations where you may get a little uncomfortable because you're like, I'm not quite certain how to navigate that, right? So for example, if your faculty member calls on you to lead a reflection session, maybe you're not comfortable with leading that, taking on that instructional role. Maybe you haven't had a lot of exposure to working with nonprofit organizations, right? But yet you're being asked to take the lead on that communication and those sorts of things. So it's very critical early on in this process in building that relationship and understanding of where your mentor is on their project of what does your role look like? How comfortable are you with entering into some of the projects that you're being asked to take on? Are there skill building? Is it maybe you're going to be asked to design a web page? Maybe that's not something you're particularly comfortable with. Maybe you're being asked to do statistical analyses, because in these scholarships, we run the gamut of the types of activities you may be involved in. But the earlier on in this process that you can ask these kind of questions and be proactive, the more you're going to be able to really develop that deeper relationship with your mentor. So key things to remember about your mentors: they're awesome people, they're very knowledgeable, but they're also juggling multiple responsibilities just like you. So if you're not proactive in trying to get their attention and focus, you may find yourself in these uncomfortable situations or these opportunities where you're not like, I don't feel quite comfortable here or confident here, and not being armed to kind of handle them. So the more proactive you are with your mentor, the better off this experience is going to be for you. Does that make sense? Okay.
This is also a good opportunity when you're thinking about your professional development activity that you want to do for the requirement to really talk with your mentor about what might be a good professional development opportunity for you to help you in your role as an SLA. It's a good way to help kind of figure that out as well by asking somebody these questions. So, more about the professional development requirement, what it means, what you're doing. So it is one activity and it's one reflective narrative per semester of awards. So some of you have multiple some of you might be over a course of more than one semester. Some of you might be academic year, or you might just be one semester. So so there's actually a link down here for where you can find more information about professional development activity. It's on the very bottom of the slide, and that is what I took you to earlier, where you can find out more information on the professional development activity.
Single semester award or an academic year award, right? How about online? Anybody? No one's responding online. All right. So if you have an academic year award, that would mean you have how many professional development activities to engage in? 2, that's right. So if you have an academic year award, you'd have a total of 2 professional development activities. If you have a single semester award, whether that's summer, fall, or spring, it's only 1. For those of you who are academic year awardees, you can coordinate those activities at any point during the academic year, right? It doesn't have to be 1 in the fall and 1 in the spring. It could be 2 in the fall because there's 2 things that are going on that are going to be really most helpful for whatever you're involved in, or 2 in the spring, right? So that's up between you and your mentor how you want to organize that.
Thank you. So who selects the professional development activity? So this is something that's negotiated between your mentor and you. So you can make that determination. So it should be consistent with the nature of what you're contributing as an SLA. And are student scholars required to submit a reflection on the professional development activity? That is yes. And the actual link to that reflection activity is on the web page that I showed to you. No. I'm sorry.
There is a link that we showed you on the website. Your mentor may opt and say, no, we're not going to do that. I want you to do something else. So your reflection on that activity may be oral with your mentor sitting in their office. It may be with a co-mentor. It may be written down, or they may direct you to this particular link. At the end of the day, even if you complete that link, you're guided to that link and asked to complete it, it's going to go to your mentor first. So if you do reflect on the professional development activity, one or both of them, it all goes to the mentor, and the mentor will share them with us. Does that make sense?
Sorry. So yeah, so it's actually determined between you and your mentor as to how you need to reflect and whether you need to reflect using this mode, and then you can actually, if it is through that link, you can actually utilize that link to submit your reflection. So talk with your mentor about the ways in which they want you to complete that, or if they want you to complete that. For more information on finding ideas, this is actually something pulled from that webpage that I took you to. So this is how you can find ideas for professional development, different workshops, conferences, things like that, taking on a leadership role, contributing to an article. There are lots of campus opportunities that might be available, and we do send out like an e-blast every so often with opportunities on that well, then you'll get that in your email. So you might actually find opportunities for the e-blast that we send out. We try to help kind of cull that information for you as well. But talk to your mentor and see kind of what types of opportunities might be best for you, and then you can kind of go searching for those. And then here's more information on the deadlines that were being asked about earlier. So we have it broken down by fall only, spring only, and academic year. So we have deadlines on here if you're a fall only awardee, submitting something to your mentor by Friday, December 4th, 2015. And then spring only, May 6th is that date. And then academic year, May 6th is actually the date for those of you who have the 2 semester awards. And then we have summer only student scholars that haven't been determined yet, but that would be in July, but that would be. Again, these are all on our website. We do have this recorded somewhere. Any questions about anything we've talked about so far? Feeling okay. All right. So I want to get to the end of award period reporting. Some of that will come sooner than others, depending on if you have a fall only or an academic year or a spring only award. So just so you can see what the reporting process should look like. As a student, you complete the orientation and the assignment. You'll get that assignment today. You'll also complete your professional development activity, as well as the reflection. There is the post survey that I mentioned that is not available yet, but once it's available, that will be sent to you. Then there's an end of award period report that is submitted to the mentor. And then the mentor actually submits the complete evaluation of that narrative that goes into that end of year reporting. This is more information that is found on our website, where you can actually click through these links and see what the deadlines are for the different award end of year reporting that goes here. So again, this is on our website. You can find that. Just a few final things to be thinking about. Kind of heard about the whole year and the whole program and what you'll be doing. Some things just to take with you from this orientation. Don't wait until the last minute to complete your reporting requirements, including that professional development activity. Know your deadlines, but plan ahead, because things happen, finals happen, all kinds of things happen towards the end of the year. So make sure you're not waiting to the very, very end to get everything done. Bookmark that SLA website. It is written out on here on this PowerPoint. You can find, if you even go to the csl.iupui.edu website, you could do a search to kind of find that information as well. But bookmark it so that you have it and you can easily refer to it when you have some of these questions. Definitely contact your faculty or staff mentor throughout the course of your award. Make sure you understand that, what you need to know, what you're doing well, what maybe needs to be improved upon, are things going as planned. Make sure you're connecting with them throughout this time during your award period. And finally, this last thing is the orientation assignment. Obviously, you're not completing it right here at the moment, sitting in this room. It is an online link. You can leave orientation today and be able to pull this up. It is actually on our website as well, on the SLA website, on the Student Scholar Orientation page. And that is here, and I'm going to actually click on it so that you can see it as well. You see at the bottom under Student Scholar Resources, you have orientation assignment. So if you go to this web page, that's where the assignment is. Once you complete that assignment, that's how this orientation is sort of checked off as one of your requirements, is completing that online assignment. And that is it for the orientation today. I want to see if there are any final questions before we are completely done with orientation.
Where can you find this PowerPoint?
PowerPoint. It will be actually on our website, on the SLA website, when we are completely done today.
Okay, thank you.
It will be on the orientation page that you just saw where the orientation assignment is.
Any other questions for today?
I know there are due dates set in place, but if we finish things early, can we turn it in early, or does it have to be on that that date?
You can turn things in early.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Or not.
One, check with your mentor. 2, it depends when the links are actually active for things like final reporting. So it's a yes, but maybe that's the right answer.
Anybody else? Well, obviously you have our contact information. As questions do arise, you can always also look at the website for some of those resources as well. So thank you so much for coming today and attending.